Welcome CRM crew, my name is Nick, and in today's video I'm going to be explaining how to use the free version of Zoho CRM. In this video I'm going to cover everything from contacts, accounts, deals to your tasks, and managing your homepage and a whole host of other features inside of the Zoho CRM package, or the free version at least. If this video has been of any use to you, please feel free to give the video a like. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below in the comment section and I will be sure to answer them as best I can. And finally, if you are signing up to Zoho CRM, it would be greatly appreciated if you use one of the links below. There's a US one if you're based in the US and one in the EU if you are based in the EU. So without further ado, I'll get straight onto the tutorial, so I'll see you shortly in a moment's time. So first things first, if you followed the link in the description below, or you've come to the Zoho website, you will see here you are now on the CRM page, and this is where we need to firstly go ahead and sign up to either the free trial or the free version. So it's the same thing. Obviously, if you sign up to the free trial, you might be entitled to enterprise version, and then it will drop you back down, but that does not matter. If you go ahead, fill out your first name, last name, email address, create a password for your new account and a phone number as well, and then you also need to select whether you'd like to receive marketing communications and ensure that you agree to their terms of service and their privacy policy. Once you get started with that, you'll then be presented with a few options. Now, I can't remember the options off the top of my head, but one you do want to ensure you don't select, as this is going to be a system that you're going to be actively using, is sample data. So make sure you're not adding any sample data into the system, because that's just like fake data that Zoho provides to give you an example. If you'd like to, you can do, but I'd recommend not if you're using the system for the purpose of managing leads and records, etc. So as you can see here, we have come to the home page. Now, in order to use our home page, it's really simple. The Zoho CRM system provides us with a few different options here, like our open task, today's leads, and closing this month in relation to deals. But as this is our home screen and we're going to be using the home screen day in, day out, we want to ensure that we are seeing the data that is most useful to us every time we log into the system. In order to ensure that that is the case, we can go ahead and customize the home screen to meet all of our data requirements, or just ensure we are seeing what data we need to see. Now, you may not know at this stage, but just bear this in mind at this point, as you can always come back to this and make changes later on. Firstly, in order to customize the home page, you need to use a drop down menu in the top right hand corner here and go to your name's home. So my name in this system is info. So go to info's home and then press the three dotted button on the right hand side, and this is where you can add components, reorder the components, or view the home screen in full screen. You firstly just select add component, select the component that you'd like to add, so leads, and then the view. So in this instance, I want to see all the leads that are junk leads, and this is a complete example. You probably wouldn't ever want to see that, and then you just need to give it a name. Again, if you go to deals and you select custom view and go to deals or my deals, and then change the name to my deals, this is going to be far more applicable. And then just press the save button. As you can see, we've now added my deals to our home page, so we can track our deals very easily. And then we can reorder our home page if we'd like to by just pressing the reorder button up there, and then just literally dragging, dropping and reshaping accordingly as we so wish, to suit how we want to look at our data. Just press the save button there. And then finally, like I said, you can view in full screen. It's literally viewing the entire screen. Or finally, you can remove components if you so wish as well. Hover over the particular component that you'd like to remove from your home screen, press the three dotted button on the right hand side and just press the delete button, and that will remove that particular component. So hopefully you're now familiar with the home screen, and I'm going to move on to leads now. So we've got leads up the top here, which is the second module along. As you can see, I've got some sample data inside of our Zoho CRM system. And this is the leads area. Now, if you're not familiar with leads, I like to refer to leads as a good dumping ground for data. Okay, now that may sound very strange, but it is literally a dumping ground for any potential opportunity. So any form of data or person or individual that you could be looking to get involved with, but you're not certain, but it's worth having their data in. So you can just dump their data into the leads area, and then it's really easy once you've got their data inside of your Zoho CRM system to turn them into contacts, accounts and deals. But we don't want to go to such extent and clog up our system with potentially meaningless data, and we just end up polluting our data inside of the Zoho CRM system with a load of rubbish. So in order to prevent that, we use the leads area, and as you can see, it's really easy to do. To create a new lead, just press the create lead button up the top right hand corner here, and this is where we can go ahead and fill in our information about our lead. So like I said, there's a slim chance, you never know, but you could be doing business with this particular person, but it's worth tracking their information anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in this information. So as you can see, I've now gone ahead and filled out this lead information. As you can see, you don't have to fill out everything, but it's best as a rule of thumb inside of any Zoho CRM system to collect as much data as you possibly can. So go through each field. It's really easy. It's literally like writing out on an Excel document if that's what you're used to. Email, website, lead status, where did this lead come, the status of the lead, so is it lost lead, junk lead, have you spoken to them? The lead source, where did they come from, advertisement, cold call, etc. You've got a whole host of different options. Then you can also fill out their address information, which again I do recommend doing. I'm just not going to bother in this example, but if you do have it, please do enter it in. And once you're happy with your new lead, all you need to do is press the save button. Now we've created our new lead, and as I said, we've dumped it into our dumping ground inside of Zoho CRM, and then all of a sudden we've been made aware that they are interested in going ahead with a deal, or there's more of a chance, there's a greater chance that this is going to become business. So what we can then go ahead and do is we can convert this lead into a contact, account and a deal, because like I said, it's getting more serious now. It may actually now be worth tracking them as a contact, account and a deal as opposed to just a lead. So in order to do so, all you need to do is click onto any particular record that you'd like to go ahead and convert, and then just go to convert button up the top right hand corner here, and this is where we can go ahead and convert by creating a new account, creating a new contact, and if we so wish, and of course this is always the best thing, is creating a new deal for this account as well. And if you select new deal, you do have to fill in some further information. So I'm just going to put the amount that this particular deal is going to be for, the name of the deal, the closing date, so when do you anticipate making the sale, which stage of the deal that this is in, and I will go over that in more detail in a moment. The campaign source, again I will go over that, and then the contact role as well. So are they a purchaser, decision maker, etc. Campaign sources, of course, if you've run a campaign, the lead came from a campaign, which particular campaign was this particular lead from. Once you've filled out all this information, all you need to do is press the convert button. I'm not going to do that in this example, but it's really easy, and then it will convert all the relevant data. So obviously company name would go to account, email would go to contact, website would go to account, lead name would of course go to contact, and as I'm sure I don't need to go into greater detail, it will divvy it up accordingly. Okay, from here I'm going to head over to our contacts module. Now if we go to contacts, as you can see here, I've got some sample data contacts inside of our Zoho CRM system, and contacts inside of your Zoho CRM system don't have to be just for sales, and I highly recommend tracking any contact that is relevant to your business inside of the CRM system. Okay, the reason I suggest this is because it allows access for any user inside of the system to that data. Now I appreciate, given this is the free version of Zoho CRM, there are only going to be 3 users on the system, but irrespective, and even if you do then decide, okay, Zoho CRM's for us, let's purchase a larger package and get some paid users on there, then this is the best way forward, tracking all that information so everyone's got it in the same place. Okay, so enough of that. I'm now going to demonstrate how to create a contact. So it's really simple. It's just like leads. Go to the create contact button up the top right hand corner here, press create contact, and again, really simple stuff. You then need to just enter in as much of the information as possible. So I'm going to very quickly do this. So as you can see here, I've now entered in as much information as I can for this particular contact. Of course, like I've said, if you've got more information, please do ensure that you are adding as much information as you possibly can. One thing to bear in mind when creating contacts is they must be associated with an account. Okay, so you have to associate any contact with an account. Now I'm just going to associate this particular contact with this account, and I know it's wrong, so don't excuse me, but just as an example today, press the save button once you've made that association, but it must be associated. Okay, so I press the save button, and as you can see, I've now gone ahead and created our new new contact record. Now, like any other module that I've mentioned, these are all the modules up the top here that I'm working my way through. You can use views and you can use filters in order to manage these. Okay, so views, we can create our own custom views, or we can select views that have been provided by Zoho CRM that allow us to see our contacts or any other record module, any other module records from essentially a different perspective. So at the moment we're on all contacts, but we could just change this to my contacts, and these are all the contacts that I've personally created. Or if you've got unread contacts, so these are contacts that no one has ever clicked on before, you've got a whole host of different options. But as you can see here, we can also go ahead and create our own custom views. So in order to do so, just press the new custom view button, and this allows us to firstly change the columns, literally like an Excel document. You change the columns so you can see what we want to see and what we don't want to see. So let's say I want to see, as an example, their secondary email address. Just hover over it and then just press the plus button. As you can see here, that's now been added, and then you can go ahead and drag and drop as you so wish onto their particular where that piece of information will fit on that column. And also we can specify criteria. Now criteria is slightly more complex. I will do my best to explain this one to you. Essentially, criteria is a means of specifying or getting records that match certain data. So as an example, if their first name is Nick, then show only the records with the first name Nick. But like I said, you can break this down using any field inside of the Zoho CRM system. So obviously for contacts, we had a whole host of different fields that we had to fill out data for. Now, as a good example, what you might want to do, and I know this is the case, is if we go to secondary email address, okay, and then we want to go, and these are our options here. So secondary email address, and then is, isn't, contains, doesn't contain, starts with, ends with, is empty, is not empty. So as you can see, whole host of different options. As an example, I'm just going to put the is empty button, right? So secondary email is empty. So I only want to see records with the secondary email that is empty, right? As you can see, I've added the secondary email to our columns, so that might not make much sense. But again, you could put is not empty. So you only want to see the records with the secondary email not empty. I'm going to leave it at empty there. Criteria can then be doubled up on an and or basis. So if you press the plus button, you've then got the and or. So this allows us to either search from an and or basis. So secondary email is empty, and we could go account name is CRM crew, for example, or we could change that to or. So if we went secondary email is empty or account name is whatever, CRM crew, for example, then only show those records that match either the first one or the second one, or again, like I say, you can change that to only show the records that match both sets of criteria. Okay, so it may seem quite complicated, but please feel free to have a play around. I'm sure you'll get the gist of it very, very quickly. You can change the name of the view, and I recommend you do this. I also recommend putting a number, 1 dot, and then the name of the view. This just helps for recall when you know which view you want to go to, especially as if you're building out a lot of views, it can get a little bit complicated and hard to find the view that you want. But if you know it's number 33, I'll just jump on 33. That's just a little bit of advice from my end. I'm just going to call this test view as an example. And once you're happy, just press the save button. One other thing you can do is also favorite your view. So this is immediately favorited as well. So I'm just going to put in the valid account name CRM crew as our view. I do apologize. Just press the save button there. As you can see, no records inside of our Zoho CRM system has matched the criteria for our view, which is a shame. But if there ever is a case where one does, and I'm going to show you one in a moment's time that does, and then I will come back here and you'll be able to see that record. Filters on the left hand side work exactly the same. Okay, so you've got system defined filters, and then you've got filter by fields. Now filter by fields is identical to the specifying criteria. So if we go back to the all contacts public view, you can see here we can select account name, and then literally it's the same options: is, isn't, contains, doesn't contain. And again, we can go ahead and select multiple, which is essentially creating the and basis. We can't unfortunately create an or basis using the filter contacts, but you can create the and. Okay, so what you're saying is account name is and then equal to whatever, and then contact name is equal to whatever, and then it will show only those records that match both of those filter criteria. Okay, so that's for the fields. Then you've also got system defined filters, so whether the record's been touched or untouched, used or not used, been on or not been on, whether it's got activities due, with open activities today and tomorrow, without any activities. You can go ahead and break all that information down as well. So I'm not going to go over it, it can become quite extensive, but again, please have a play around. Okay, you're not going to break anything, and it's worth learning this stuff. Next, I'm going to head over to our accounts. So accounts up the top here. As you can see, we have got sample data inside of our accounts, and like I said, you've got your filters and your views. Like I mentioned, views are always going to be specific to whichever module you created it for, so it's not going to be across the board, obviously. And then in order to create a new account, just press the create account button up the top right hand corner here. And again, go ahead and fill in all of the relevant information, and I will do that now. So as you can see, I've gone and filled out as much information as I could for this particular account record. So I've done what I could. Like I said, we've got a few other options like rating. Has it been acquired? Is it active? Market failed? Project cancelled? Shut down for this particular account. You've got parent account. So if this record has a parent business, then you can assign that parent business by using the lookup field. You've got ticker symbol and account site, which I'm sure you're both familiar with. We've got account number as well, employees, all sorts of different information relating to what this particular account is and what it's all about. Once you're happy with that, just press the save button, and there you have it. You've gone ahead and created your new account. Again, you've got address information down here, and I recommend filling that out, of course, as well. Press the save button. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head back to the contact that we created earlier, which was Nick Boardman, and I'm just going to change the account name to CRM Crew like it should be. So as you can see, I'm just going to select the relevant record, so CRM Crew. As you can see, that's now updated. Really easy, it pretty much saves automatically. Then if we press the back button and use the view that we created, you can see that that view, this particular record, has matched the view criteria that we set out. No secondary email, and the account name is equal to CRM Crew. So hopefully that has filled in the gaps, made it very, very simple for you. Now I've covered contacts accounts. I'm just going to head over to deals now. So deals is the place to be, of course, for our sales. This is where we are going to manage all of our sales. We're going to go ahead and be using our sales pipeline, where we can track each stage of the sales process all the way to the end, where we eventually, and fingers crossed, hopefully close the sale as one. And unfortunately, as the case may be, sometimes we can also go ahead and sadly close the deal as lost as well. In order to do so, press the create deal button here, and this is where we can go ahead and fill in the deal information. So we select the amount that the deal is going to be for, so I'm just going to put £10,000 as an example. Obviously you want to make that applicable to however much it is. Give the deal a name. I recommend having a rule of thumb across the system, across the board, always specify certain information inside of the name. So I'm just going to call this CRM Crew Test, but I do recommend establishing something that is relevant for your business, just so it doesn't get confusing, because if you've got lots of people on the system entering loads of weird names, it's going to become overwhelming and the data may become slightly useless, or just it makes the system harder to use, and that's what we want to avoid doing. Okay, so I've entered that deal name and then the closing date, so the date at which I believe this sale is going to close. So I think on Tuesday next week we're going to close the deal. Now we have to assign an account to the deal. Okay, so I've already created CRM Crew, so I'm going to assign that particular account to this particular deal. So we're selling to this business essentially, and this is for B2B, business to business. Now, as you can see here, we've got our stages, and I'm going to come on to the stages in more detail soon, but essentially you can jump ahead if you feel as if when you're creating this deal, it's not actually at the first stage, but maybe the third or fourth or second stage of the deal. You can change that accordingly. Okay, I'm going to leave that as is. And then we've got type, new business or existing business. Probability is set by the stage, so as you can see, as we switch up the different stages, probability changes. We have expected revenue here, as we can see. Next step, lead source, campaign source, and contact name as well. So you can also assign a contact to this particular deal. Once done so, press the save button, and as you can see here at the very top, we can go ahead and we can move along the stages of the sales pipeline, from qualification to needs analysis to value proposition, ID decision makers. Again, you can customize this to suit your business if you so wish, and I recommend doing so, of course. However, the standard sales process or the standard sales pipeline is actually pretty good, in all fairness. Okay, so feel free to just move along as you so wish with each of the various stages. As you can see, the probability updates, etc. And when you get to the best point, the close one, you will then verify the details, the amount, the closing date, and the stage. Just press the save button, and again that applies to if you've closed lost, you can update the amount, closing date, stage lost, and reason for loss is always useful to track as well. So it's really easy to do, and you can go through all of the various options. Okay, so that's deals. It's really, really simple. One thing I will mention is using the Kanban view. Now, I love the Kanban view for the sole purpose of it making it so much more interesting to see our deals. Okay, so to use the Kanban view, just go to the drop down menu up here with the three lines, three dots, and just select Kanban view. And as you can see here, we have an entirely different view of all of our stages inside of our sales, but we can just literally drag and drop, moving our deals onto the relevant stages. Far more interesting, far more appealing to the eye, and in my personal opinion, a lot easier to use as well. Okay, so I recommend giving this a shot if you want to just make your life a little bit easier. Now I'm going to head over to tasks. So you've got tasks up the top here. Again, you can use the Kanban view for tasks, and it's really, really useful. You've got all tasks, we've got meetings and calls, okay, and they're divided up into three. Now I'm going to just quickly demonstrate how to create one, because they're pretty much identical to one another. As I'm sure you can imagine, a meeting and a call is more or less the same. So a task, all you need to do is head over to the tasks, press the create task button, and fill out the relevant information about that task. So you've got task owner, subject, so I'm just going to put test, and then email, and then the due date, when do you need the task to complete. Contact, you can associate a contact with it, and accordingly associate an account. And you may be wondering, why did that do that automatically? Now I'll tell you, because the contact Nick Boardman is directly associated with the CRM Crew business, because you have to put that information in, it just works out automatically. Really clever, makes your life a little bit easier. You've got status as well, so what is the status of the task? Deferred, in progress, completed, waiting on someone else. Priority, you've got repeat, so you can select repeat options if you want a daily task, weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever. Go ahead and have a play around with that, and then you can select reminders as well. So if you get a reminder on or before a certain amount of time, so you know when this particular task is due. Then you can also add a description of the task at the bottom if you need to be. And once you've done that, just press the save button. You can clearly see here we're now on this particular task, and once that task is being completed, we just press the close task button. So that is then completed, and you can add a follow-up task as an option if you so wish. And if you're confused how to get there, again, we're on the Kanban view, but we can go back to the list view, select on any record, and if it needs to close that particular task, just press the close task button. Mark is completed. There you have it. Really, really simple stuff. Again, we can use our views up the top left-hand corner, and we can show all tasks, closed tasks. As you can see, we've got 3 closed tasks now. Or we can see upcoming tasks or open tasks. So these are tasks that we still have to do. Okay. The same is for meetings and calls. I'll demonstrate how to do meetings, but like I said, meetings and calls are more or less identical. Head over to the meetings area, or module, press the create meeting button, and again, just enter in all the relevant information about the meeting. It's really, really simple stuff. Again, you can use your Kanban view and use the lists as well if you so wish. Really useful, makes life a lot easier. Again, I'll just go to calls and show you. If you press the create call button, you can schedule, log, or call now. So you've got 3 options. So schedule is the future, log to the past, and call now is literally call now. And they all do the same thing. They'll all mark it down as a record, but obviously log is backdating, scheduling is for the future. So log will automatically be marked as completed, schedule will automatically be marked as in the future or to do, and then call now is literally like a live phone call, and then you need to select the call information when you're doing the call now. So call to, I'm just going to select Nick Boardman, call purpose, prospecting, call agenda, whatever information you need to put in, and just press the call button. And it's quite clever down here, it like imitates a phone call, and you press answered or rejected, and then go ahead and track information. This isn't live, this isn't recording anything, but it is quite interesting nonetheless. And then you can just end the call, and then that will log that information against that particular record, and you can follow up call, meeting, or task accordingly, or add a call description if you so wish. And then if you create a call, log call or schedule a call look exactly the same. As I said, one's backdated, one's not. Feel free to go through this. It's really, really simple stuff. I'm sure you are all very capable of working this stuff out. So I press the cancel button, and I'm going to head over to our reporting function up the top here. As you can see, we have a whole host of different reports. Now, in the free version of Zoho CRM, unfortunately, we can't create our own reports, but that's not the end of the world in my opinion. The free stuff on Zoho CRM is brilliant, and we get a lot of different options. On the left hand side, we've got all reports, we've got my reports, favorites, recently viewed, shared reports, and recently deleted. A few options here. You won't have my reports because you can't create any. And then you've got favorites. Any report that you'd like to favorite, you just star like I demonstrated earlier in this video, and then that will be in your favorites area. Recently viewed is any report that you've recently generated. So if you click on a report, it will head over to the recently viewed tab. Then shared reports, again, you won't be able to do because you can't create any, but if you do get the paid version, create a report, and then would like to share it with another user inside of your Zoho CRM system, or sorry, shared reports is in fact reports that are shared with you. So any report that gets shared with you, this is where you'd find it. And recently deleted is very obviously where recently deleted reports can be found. We've also got the reports broken down by modules, so accounts, contacts, deals, leads, etc. I'm not going to go through all of these, there are loads of different options. I'll just go to the deals report here, and as you can see, we could get sales by lead source, sales this month, and then in order to generate a report, all we need to do is click on the report that is what we want to see. So sales this month. Unfortunately, we've not had any, but as you can see, it would clearly show all of that information. So that's reports, really, really simple stuff, and I'm sure, again, you'll get used to that very quickly. Then I'm going to head over to feeds up the top here. Now, feeds is a really, really interesting feature. Think about feeds as like a collaborative platform inside of Zoho CRM where you can communicate about records and just chat, literally post information and comment on relevant information with other users inside of the system. It's like Slack built into Zoho CRM. Very interesting. It does work. It's literally, you just write a comment, hello, and then you can just post it to all users, or if you can select specific users if you so wish. As you can see, I've just posted into something, into the feed, and then someone else can go ahead and comment on my post. And like I said, it's very interesting. You can also attach files if you wish. So if you press attach, you can literally upload it from your own computer. And again, you can do that on your comments as well. So these are the feeds, and then you've got followed by me and dormant records. So followed by me are records that you are following, actively following, and then and I'll show you how to select create auto follow rules in a moment. And then you've got dormant records as well, so records that have not been updated for more than X amount of days, and you can change the number of days they've not been updated for. So let's say 512 days, for example, and that will update. Okay. Then auto follow rules is really, really simple. You can essentially create rules to auto follow particular records dependent on specific criteria. So if you press the create button, give your auto follow rule a name. So I'm going to call mine test, and then select the module that it's for, and then specify the criteria. So one common one is the amount. If I go to deals, and then go to amount, and then equal to or greater than, and let's also equal to or greater than, and then you specify, let's say 10,000. So I want to auto follow any deal that is equal to, we've got the amount equal to or greater than 10,000. You can create that auto follow rule. Really simple, really useful as well, really useful. So now you get updated information in your feed about any deals with the amount equal to or greater than 10,000. Okay, you can remove those auto follow rules by just pressing the delete button, or you can edit it if you so wish. And then you can see any that have been shared with you as well. Now that we press the create button over there, if you press manage, you'll be brought back to the same page. And then you've got feed preferences as well. So choose the modules for which the feed notifications can be sent to your organization's users. And then you've got all of these different options which you can select and unselect accordingly. Okay, so feeds, really useful. Now from feeds, we're going to head over to campaigns. So our campaigns module is where we can go ahead and we can track any marketing campaign that we're doing inside of our Zoho CRM system. So when I say any marketing campaign, I literally mean anything marketing related that your business is doing. This is where we can go ahead and track it inside of Zoho. Okay, so in order to create a new campaign, just press the create campaign button up the top right hand corner here, and we can go ahead and fill in all the relevant information about any particular campaign. Okay, so firstly the type, so what type of campaign is this? Public relations. The campaign name, so I'm just going to call this test campaign. The status, what is the status of the campaign? Planning, active, inactive, complete. Start date, end date, expected revenue, budgeted cost, actual cost, expected response, and number sent. Really simple stuff. I'm sure you can all understand this. Once you've done that, just press the save button, and you can create your own campaign. Now I'm going to go over the related list on the left hand side here. If you scroll down or just jump to the related list, this is where we can go ahead and associate our records with our campaigns. We can also create activities like I've already demonstrated, but this is where we can add leads, contacts and deals, and we can just press add contacts and then select contacts. Now one other thing I want to mention is notes and attachments, and this is applicable to every single module inside of your Zoho CRM system. We can add a note to a record, anything we'd like. We can just write it out, add the title and attach anything. We can just save it, and we can also add attachments as well, upload files, associate from Zoho Work Drive, or link a URL as well. So these are applicable, the notes and attachments, on every single module. So it's really useful if you just want to create a note on a record, and I thought I should just mention that as well. We've also got documents up the top here. If we head over to documents, you can upload documents into your Zoho CRM system, and we can also create documents like a spreadsheet, a presentation, or like a Word document, all inside of our Zoho CRM system. And then that will be automatically saved, and anyone else can then go ahead and access that's got access to the system. And finally, if you press the three dotted button, we've got the visits, and this is like visitor tracking for our website. I would obviously suggest using Google Analytics. It is good, it's a good tool, but obviously Google Analytics is far superior. So this is just the visits side of things. So hopefully that has given you a fairly in-depth oversight in how to use Zoho CRM, or the free version of Zoho CRM. And I'll see you in a moment's time. I hope this video has clearly explained how to get the most from your free version of Zoho CRM. I'm sure you're probably now sick of my voice if you have made it to the end of this video. If you do have any further questions, again, like I said at the start, just drop them in the comments below, or you are more than welcome to email me if you'd like to. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you shortly in the next video. Bye bye.